research shows that they have helped social entrepreneurs and policymakers to be more impactful. So just go a little bit back to history. So now in our literature, what you go in library and learn, mostly the most dated paper you find will be in the 1900. So, and then you see that new theories develop over time. And so it goes with the development of our society. So new theories develop to help leaders to succeed in the current context. So now in the for example, in the 1900, we look at the great man. So you need a father figure. So it would be good. But now in the 2000 and onward, we talk a lot about distributed leadership and followership and so on. So because you have an access to this PowerPoint, so I'm not going to go in detail. The point of this slide is to tell you that leadership models and theories evolve. So don't just learn one model and one theory and apply it every time. So keep yourself updated. And then when you look at the science and culture, so for these certain theories, there are more toward the science, and others were more on the culture. And you see that always go with starting with culture and then it get more generalized and become more theory and so on. And then again, adoption and again. So there is always an interaction between theories and the reality that we live. And then when we look at the different models, so you see, it's always, we have a different development of our society. So when we were in the industrialization era, the beginning, then the rule of thumb is important. The great man is important, but now, as we are now in the 2000s, where we have a lot of uncertainty, we live in the VUCA context. You know what VUCA is, right? Do you know what VUCA is?
Yes. Volatility, ancient.
Yeah, volatile. So things change. Now, we are in the V for volatile. U, like lots of uncertainty.
Certain.
Well, C is complexity. That it's involved because now we have access to information. So in the past, we only got one information, one type. Now everybody is exposed to lots of information. It's so complex. And the A?
Ambiguous.
What?
Ambiguous.
The high volatility, lots of uncertainty, very complex. And the A is? No, we are talking about the context where we are in.
Ambiguous.
What? What is the A? They're very important. The VUCA. What else? The A is very important.
It's ambiguous. I don't know how to say in English. Ambiguous.
What did he say? I cannot hear.
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
That.
Thank you. Nothing is clear. And especially today, fake news with AI generated content, ambiguity is really background. So now we are in this context, we require different type of leader compared to industrialization era at the beginning, where everything is clear cut. So that when we are in the VUCA context, so with a lot of volatility, lots of uncertainty, lots of complexity, and lots of ambiguity, we will need to have another type of leader. And so we also talk about VUCA approach. Means that you need to have a good vision, you need to have a good comprehension, the understanding. So vision, understanding, creativity, and agility. So you need to adapt. So you are in the VUCA context, you need a VUCA approach. So the point of this slide is to tell you that need to continue studying and going back to school from time to time, learn from researchers, and go to think tank like Professor Minh's think tank. So researchers, that is their job, to really analyze, understand the context, and propose different models and theories that can work. So now the key terms, what are we talking about here? So you may hear a lot about the style of leadership. Then you hear about the model of leadership and theory. So I want to dissect it for you. So when you talk about style of leadership, you talk about specific situation, a particular behavior and approach the leader use. So one person can have a different leadership style at different moment situation, right? Because they know, this is effective in this time, but then when things change, I'll have to adopt another leadership style. And where the model give you a framework. So it combines the theories and the style and processes. Okay, so a model is like something you look here and you help you develop the directions, collect the data. So different models will tell you a different style will work for whatever situation. And then the theory give you the conceptual explanation, how and why the leadership works. So actually the theory justifies why this model would work in this particular context. So think of this model as like the leadership, you can be a boat or you can be a aircraft, the spaceship. So it can be a boat, a ship, spaceship is another ship. But these are very different models because they work on different contexts. One is on water, another is on air and out space. And then you have theories that justify why this type of model of leadership would work. Okay, it explains to you the context and the mechanism, how the leadership works, and then explain to you what you how things work the way they do. Okay, so I have to give you a disclaimer, very important. No single theory alone creates lasting impact. I hope.
The screen is still out.
It's gonna make me mute. Okay. Okay, so no single theory alone. So you have to learn many different theories. And then effective leaders combine multiple theories based on context. So now let me give you the a few theories first. So this is not in a order of how it works, but it's more like the frequency that they appear in the literature. So the researchers talk a lot about these theories. So the transformational leadership theory, the core idea is that leaders inspire and motivate followers to achieve extraordinary outcome through vision, through charisma, and personal development. And then when you study the theory, you will learn about the example. So the first Natalie said at the beginning of today, so you look at how you articulate your vision, and then how you challenge your status quo, and how you mentor and develop followers. Those are, so I give you the synthesis of the theory. If you're interested, go and look up the book, okay? And then you will learn in more detail. And for the leadership students, you are going to learn more detail in the next 3 classes. So this class is to give you the foundation, okay?
Could you share the screen so we can see the document?
So the other classes that will be for leadership students, you have 3 more classes. So this today is for both the people on the conference and the leadership students. Okay, but so go back here. So today I give you the foundation. And then for the leadership students, you are going to receive a homework where you will have to apply the theories and models in your particular situation.
Okay.
So come back here, and then, so if you want to encourage innovation, you want to foster long-term change, and you want to build an organizational culture, you have to study this theory. Okay, so one theory. And so an example, so when you learn theory, you also learn about the examples of the leaders who succeeded. And this theory explained that how Nelson Mandela became a very influential leader. Yeah. So what he used is he worked through vision, charisma, and the personal development. So that's what he did in order to achieve the effectiveness. So the next model is the servant leadership. The idea is that leaders serve the needs of their followers first. So that they can ensure that the followers grow and thrive before you work on the whole organization. So this theory explains to you the mechanisms when you need to build trust, when you want to promote ethical leadership, and when you want to foster inclusive and sustainable organizations. So this theory explains how Mohamed Yunus became a very successful leader in his particular context. So he worked from grassroots level first. Okay? And so when you study this theory, you will learn about how to listen, how to develop your empathy. So you will learn about your decision-making process that goes through steward and through ethical standards. And then you will learn how to make commitment for yourself and to the growth of other people, and then how you build your community and how you share your leadership with others. So Professor Mohamed Yunus works in a very different context compared to another leader that we have in like Nelson Mandela. So very different environment, political context, and the need of the people. So the theory here, it just explains how these people become that successful. It explains the mechanisms, how it works. And then you have the adaptive leadership theory that tell you that leader must adapt and evolve in response to the environment, which is changing. So you learn the theory when you want to help organizations navigate through crisis, and current uncertainty and large-scale transformation. So an example is Aden. So she became overnight, become a very well-respected leader because of her work during the COVID pandemic. So when you learn this theory, you learn how to distinguish technical from adaptive challenges. You will learn how to empower stakeholders to address the systematic issues, and you'll learn how to encourage experimentation and innovation. So we see, I list here what the theory is, when you use it, and the components that you have to look into when you read about these theories. So I hope you will read with a purpose.
Mike, could you share the screen, please?
Oh, this. So when did it go off? Okay. It's okay.
Thank you. We see it.
Yeah, thank you. So I will send you will get the recording of the session. So if you miss something, you can rewatch the recording. Yeah. So hope you are okay with now authentic leadership theory. Understand it a bit more. Then you'll learn about distributed leadership, which is now becoming very popular theory now. It's the idea is leadership is shared among many different individuals, rather than just centralizing in just one person. And then you need the theories when you want to enhance innovation, inclusivity, and your organizational resilience. And the theory explains how a group allows the employees to work independently and grow the organization very, very fast in China. So when you study this theory, you'll learn about collective leadership, so the elements of this leadership, and about team-based decision-making. So instead of just one person deciding, but how do you coordinate the whole team to come up with a decision together? Or if you don't know this theory, you may have lots of meetings and never finish. And then, learn about how to empower the individuals at different levels. Then you learn about the social change leadership theory. The idea is about leadership is all about driving positive social change by engaging communities and addressing root cause of the social issues. You will need the theory when you want to encourage social entrepreneurship, when you want to help activists and policymakers to create the change. And example is Malala, and she also got lots of different prizes for her work for advocating girls' education. So when you study this theory, you learn about how you collaborate in a very competitive environment, and then how you share your responsibility, and then how you use your values and social justice to create action. The ethical leadership theory will tell you about the importance of ethical values, and the leaders have to lead with integrity. This is very important theory when you want to reduce corruption, build trust, and strengthen governance. And you know about the German, I have a lot of respect for her. And she's very well respected for her decision-making that is very well principled and ethical. And so when you study this theory, you'll learn about the fair and just decision-making. Remember, the other theory tell you another type of decision-making, right? And then you learn about how to encourage ethical behavior in your organizations and how you hold your power with accountability. So again, I have to emphasize that each theory will help you, guide you into creating different type of impact. So you know what kind of impact you need to create, you want to create, then you will go in more detail in the theory that I named here. So the next one is on complexity leadership theory. It's really about the leadership must emerge. So it's not you are given it.
Why did you go again?
Yeah, now I learned. So whenever I see it out, I will reshare. Okay. So for complexity leadership theory, so it's you use it, you need it when you want to create, when you want to help the organization to adapt fast, better, and when you are in unpredictable sectors like AI right now. So you will need to learn about this theory. And so when you study this theory, you learn about the innovation that is decentralized. You'll learn about balancing control with agility, and you'll learn about how to leverage your network for rapid adaptation. And the 10th here is charismatic. Well, this has been an old theory, but it's still very useful even today. So here you inspire loyalty and devotion through your charisma, your comparing vision. So now how to be charismatic, maybe you're born look with very good look, and your behavior, your mannerism, so it commands power right away. So some people can become charismatic leaders very easily, like Professor Muhammad Yunus. You know, when you're next to him, the kind of energy he projects, the kind of enthusiasm and the warmth you feel it, it's very hard to imitate immediately, but it takes time, and you can still learn and build that gradually. But it's more difficult. But at least the theory explains to you. Sometimes you say, and even Trump, no, so people laugh, you know, even the first election, people say in Europe, Trump would have no chance. How was he elected? You know, so because he was charismatic to a group of people, and that happened that group vote, and that becomes a big, so he got it, right? But whether it's right or wrong, we don't, the theory doesn't tell. The theory only tells you, dissect to you how it works. Even when he says the things that do not make sense at all, people still believe it, still follow it. And even for religion, the same thing. Lots of things in the Bible don't make sense, but people still believe it. So here, the theory would explain to you that the vision, how your visions really attract people, and then your communication skill have to be exceptional, and of course your ability to connect at the emotional level with your followers. So those are the 10 theories. I strongly recommend you to read in detail. And I give you already so when you want to read that theory in detail and what you have to look for when you read for the. And now we talk about models. Yeah, we are on good time. So I hope so now repeat to me what the theories are for. Before I go to model, what the theories are for. Forget it. Oh my God, I feel like crying. So I gave you the 3 terms are very important, right? Leadership style, leadership model, and leadership theory. And I have just explained to you the 10 theories. So what are theories for? No? Oh my God. Things happen. Okay. We have to go back to the bottom. The theory explains to you the mechanisms, how things work, so that we have to dissect. So we look at the model and say, hey, so now the US is using this model. Is it going to succeed or not? So we'll look at the theory to explain, okay, given the situation, now with this kind of leadership style, the way the leader coordinates the network, and then we want to make the prediction, how successful this leadership style model would work or not, okay? So the theories explain the mechanisms. The theory will not tell you whether it's good or bad. It doesn't tell you this is a good leadership or this is a bad leadership. It just tells you that this is how you achieve these results, the mechanisms of connecting your behavior and the kind of results. That's the theory. Okay? Styles, very situational. Behavior, it's very moment now. Okay? Theory explain. And then the model will be a bit more long-term. Okay? Good? So the 10 theories. Okay, good now. So when you want to say that, oh, I am going to experiment with this leadership style, okay? And then you say, okay, will I have a good chance with that leadership style? Okay? Then you go into theory and say, hey, now these are the mechanisms. What I'm doing here, what kind of result will I see? Okay? So the theories will help us predict because it explains to us the mechanisms of how things work. Okay? So you, as a leader of your organization, you have to build a leadership model for your organization at any particular moment or context, your job. And then you create your organizational culture, right? And then every day you practice your leadership style. Okay? Get it so far? It's very important. I teach you theory because you use theory to help you predict the result of your action. Okay? The model, now you will build a model for your group. So what kind of model everybody in your group will follow? So now I give you top 10. As I said, there are many. Look at just how leadership literature evolves. There are hundreds and hundreds. I only give you top 10. So now you want to learn the leadership models that create meaningful impact. So determine your common goal. And then so that's go beyond traditional management style. So the leadership model is like your structure, like the bone of your body. So you focus on transformation, innovation, and empowerment. So give you top 10. So the first model is called transformational leadership. The idea is here that your model you create must inspire and motivate followers to exceed expectations. So now so in your organization, you have to have very clear vision statement. You have to build a culture where people become very enthusiastic about what they do every day. And then you have to encourage innovation. That means lots of ideas, experimentation, and so on. So this model is built based on the theory of transformation leadership. Okay? So this model is good when you want to create lasting cultural and organizational change. That's a model that worked and already gave Nelson Mandela, so everybody respects him, is very good, and Elon Musk very controversial, but still, he's a very strong leader, and he has a lot of success in pushing the technological boundary. So what he does, so you will go that, okay, how the vision he has and what kind of enthusiasm people have. Look at each one of his events. People go crazy with that, so it just create that kind of atmosphere, and of course the innovation will come. Lots of people will be unhappy about this, but because innovation is really about changing status quo, you do things differently. And I remember he saying that you have to be art to be number one. So he knows that he's different, and he plays on that difference. Okay. So that's one. Now you have another model. It's called a servant leadership. This one, so in your organization, so because this all times will be converted into your organizational policies and daily practice. So if you want to prioritize the need of your employees and communities, you have to analyze them, right? And you have to have dedicated department or people to work on analyzing the needs. And you have to focus on the personal development and, of course, ethical decision making. So this model of leadership is needed when you are in a situation where trust must be built, when you want to foster inclusion, and when you want to encourage long-term and sustainable growth. So you see different models work for different purposes. And so once you learn about the model, then you will translate it into your strategies. And then with the strategy, it comes to your tactic, your management, and your tactic. So you know about Professor Murmus, so with his microcredit and Grameen Bank now, so he prioritized the need of the borrowers, the women who need little money instead of the big institutions. So now we have adaptive leadership. So this one, that you have to create an organization where highly flexible, but it doesn't work every time. Sometimes people don't want to work in an organization where things change all the time, right? But here you have to focus on flexibility and problem solving. So this model works when you want to encourage resilience and innovation when you are in a challenging situation. So go back to the example of Adam for her programs on COVID-19. And all of these leaders, you can go to Wikipedia and their organizations. So you will learn a lot more about the specific actions that they have done. So we have ethical and authentic leadership. Here, you need to focus on building integrity, transparent, accountability. And if you want to work on this model, documentation is very important, right? You cannot be transparent without documents, without data. And for some organizations, we don't have time and money to make documents because gathering data costs a lot of money, right? So, but when you are in a situation where credibility and trust and relationships are needed, so you build your organization with this model. And so Unilever is the Paul is a good example of how he transformed his company Unilever during the development of the new context for his company. So we also have the model of system leadership. In this one, you want to engage a lot of stakeholders. You want to hear their voices. And so this model works when you want to drive large-scale impact through collaboration and systemic thinking. But every model has pro and cons, right? This one, you hear a lot of voices, and it's very easy to lose track and focus. But then that's why you have to go back to system leadership theory, and in this, how to be effective. So it cannot be, okay, next day I think this model works, I'm going to use it. No, are you capable of using that model? You have to go to the theory to explain, to help you explain your situation. And do you have the mechanisms to prepare you for the execution of the model or not? Otherwise, the model will become nice on paper, but never good on practice. So that's a complaint we hear a lot when people, hey, academic stuff. No, academic stuff, you have that word, is when you don't have a good understanding and you don't know when to use it, right? So example of the founder of the World Economic Forum, now it becomes a very, very important forum where leaders come every year, right? Next is inclusive leadership. So here you want to emphasize diversity, equity, and inclusion in your decision-making and your team dynamics. So this leadership style is based on the ethical leadership theory, and you really have to work on the mechanism to promote fairness, justice, and inclusivity. So if you look at Pepsi Cola, and she is a very impressive woman that really works at the grassroots level. So really include people of different colors, different capability for developing the organization. And in SBC participant, we see a lot of this. In the first time, I give you an example of SBC team as wood art, that they work on handicraft. But people who cannot walk, for example, but there's no problem with their hands, right? They can be very effective. So for people, so you want to put people in the right place, that where their weaknesses are not needed. So, but then what their strengths are used. So all we have the team that work, the blind people. Blind people, they are very good with the sense here. And we got even one team that's on the massage therapy. Actually, being blind is a plus. You know why? For massage, if I go for a massage, I would like to go with someone blind. So yeah, I feel more comfortable, yeah, with that, so they don't look at me. So sometimes the weaknesses in other contexts become null when you know where to put the people in the right place. Then you have the even socio-entrepreneurial leadership, which is now becoming very popular. It's based on social change leadership theory. And here you need it when you want to create impact with the business profitability at the same time. And there are many examples, like the Tom shoes, that is buy one, get one free. No, it's the opposite. No, buy one, pay two. So it's the opposite of buy one, get one free. Is that you buy one, but you pay two. But the extra that you pay will be provided to the people in need. So you still make money. So instead of just selling one, now you can sell two, right? But then you can make impact by delivering it to the people that need the shoes. You have the distributed leadership, where the idea is that the leadership is not centralized. The responsibility is shared among the team members, and you need to foster collaboration and empowerment. This model works very well when you want to enhance innovation and you want to have decision making at all levels. So the higher group, that the employee at the shop floor, they can make decisions. They can also propose the solution that people in the office don't know. Okay, and next one is about digital and AI leadership, which is now getting more and more popular. It's your model relies on technology. So the technology and AI will allow you to make better decision making, make better decision, more efficient, and you engage your customers better. So now this model is when you want to work on the digital transformation and how to leverage technology for your competitive advantage. And examples now we have a lot, like from Microsoft, and even Grameen is now trying to use this model. So if you look up the Grameen AI Bank, so Grameen, it started with very grassroots, it's personal connection. So Grameen, you learn about microcredit. So they go from village to village and talk to women to learn about their need and so on, to give them the money that they need. That's how they started. But now they work in collaboration with Accenture, a company, and then now they are rolling out the program in India. So you can look it up, Grameen Bank AI. So now what they do is that they use AI to measure the emotion, and they will make analysis of the people who ask for credit. They say that because they want to make sure that the money given is fair, and they want to find out whether people ask for money because they are pressured into asking, because the woman, their husband, coerce them into going to bank, because their husband, when they go to bank, they cannot get the money to get the drink, right? They go home, they coerce their wife to go and ask for the money. So, but now they use AI to detect whether these women coming for money, it's really for the business or for other things. So they have the image recognition. It's very interesting application, but that's to see. I don't know about its result yet, but that's what they are transforming into. So from a different leadership, and now they are transforming into the digital leadership. And the last 10, top 10 is resilience leadership, where you work through crisis and uncertainty with strength, adaptability, and vision. And then you need it when you are in crisis, like you are in Ukraine now. So you thought you would have resources. Now 10 minutes later, you figure out that everything evaporates, right? So I just given you the top 10 models, top 10 theory to explain the models. And the last one before I open for any questions you may have for the 10 minutes. So leadership for social impact requires a combination of models and theories, depending on the context and objectives. So that's why I give you for every model, I give you this would work for this objective and what theory will explain it. And so for just like some of the examples, so social entrepreneurs may combine the transformational leadership with social change leadership. That means you work on how you create your vision and then how you promote collective action. For a company now, we are working through ESG. That's the kind of social impact you want to create. So you may look up servant leadership or authentic leadership as a model. Or if you're a policy maker, leader, so you may want to look up the adaptive leadership and resilient leadership. Okay, so that's the time now for Q&A for the 10 minutes. That if you don't have a question, I'm going to give you a quiz. It will be tough. Okay.
If you can go back to the theories and put the number 4 and the number 5 theory.
Okay, the number 4, authentic leadership. So what you want to learn more about the authentic leadership, right? So first of all, if you want to be a good leader, but so first of all about how to be authentic, and it was the presentation of Ghani yesterday. He talked a lot about authenticity, right? And now it's the trend. But how can you be authentic or project an authentic image if you are not aware? So self-awareness is important. And so Ghani gave an example with the video, remember? So what kind of problem you're giving for the water? So you have to be self-aware of your situation. Now you look at integrity. So, and then you have to lead with genuine purpose. So Ghani gave you an example, lots of organization and only very, very few now are actually practicing that. So SBC actually would provide consulting services as well. So governments or universities that want to work on developing their leadership, or if they want to have the result of social change. So we can help you train your leaders for the kind of social change you want to create. And then we'll provide you with tools. So this one we give you just like the introduction. It's very at the entry level, the intro level. But then for the application, we can help you. I analyze your situation, your context, and then so we'll tell you that we give you recommendation with good explanation how it would work. What would it require of you? So we do it for government. So for example, we are doing it for Algerian government. And yeah, so, and in Vietnam, I do it for one university, it's Thang University, to really redesign their entrepreneurship program. Yeah. So building leaders within their administrators and the curriculum and so on. Okay. Okay, this one. So the here leadership is not about just individual power for one, but it's about collaborating across systems. So if UAM wants to be the leader, it's not just acting alone. So you have to work with Veracruz, for example, and analyze and what you want to achieve, but you want to create change for Mexico. You want to be good for Mexico, you coordinate together. And yeah, so you learn how to get the voices of your different stakeholders heard. And then they feel that they implement your implementation, although also has them in that. Okay, so yeah, this theory will give you, it will teach you about how you build the vision together, how you collaborate. And well, you compete and collaborate at the same time. Yeah. Distributed is that you give the power. So it's a lot about empowerment. So each person, and I give you an example of the hire. So you work on the shop floor. So you know that what may cause accident. So you propose a change of the production process. Okay. So that distributed is like leader is not only the CEO or the director of the department, but now you empower people to make decisions, to analyze their own situation and propose change. 5 minutes left.
In your experience, obviously you said, there's clearly options here and that you change with time, that and that would be a good leader to be able to leverage options. In your experience, is there like a winning combination that lasts the test of time, something that you see the most successful in all this research?
I wish I could give that answer yes. That would be easy, right? So like we just have the one size fit all, a formula that works, and then we keep doing that. Well, unfortunately,
it works, but like the majority of the time in the research you've seen, like has anything stood out as like, these keep coming back and all these that.
So I would like to narrow it down to social entrepreneurship. Okay, so what we see that time and time the work is servant leadership. So servant leadership. So and even in our teaching now, we say service learning. So you teach is not like one way. The teacher will tell you the theory, blah blah blah. So for us, for example, we take students to do the real work to help the society. In doing that, the student will learn about theories and other things. So it's also that we use servant leadership. So I cannot say that it's gonna work in all sectors, but at least in social project, servant leadership is time and time giving a good result. But I have to emphasize the need to adapt. The context will change. And even we talk about the common goals, but your goals may become obsolete. So I give it back to our goal as an educator, okay? So we gone through a different revolution. So when we were the industrialized revolution, doing exactly the same thing is a required skill. So you want students to be like mimicking you, repeating you all the time, right? But then when you are the knowledge economy, another revolution, hey, if you like you become like a radio, you talk, but the students say, yeah, the kind of knowledge you give to the students, not useful at all. So when you have the servant leadership, you put your students in the center of the learning, and then you know what will be needed for their job in the future, and then you provide them with the right skill set. So in the past, it was great that the student could just repeat what teachers do, and then they can copy exactly what the teachers do. That would be great. That will work very well for the industrialization era. But now today, computer will do much better. They are stronger and they can repeat things with precision. Human will always make error, but machines will do it. So now we are in the new AI era. So that will be different things to teach students for.
Places, the winners, have you analyzed their leadership and have you documented?
Yes. Yeah, so we are also evolving because so SBC was born in 2016. Our context was very different. And then we went through the COVID-19, very different. And now we're going through AI, very, very different thing as well. So we will need to evolve as well. So even our own leadership model will have to change. Yeah. Yeah.
You're leading by example, Minh.
Oh, yeah. I hope. Yeah. Okay, so if no more questions, we can have a little break before we have the next AI revolution. All right.
You are great, Mike. Thank you for the session.
Okay. So now we are going to have a break for 30 minutes and stay on the same Zoom. That will be the next workshop of AI tools. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
I leave the Zoom stay, so you come back in 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Alors, ¿en qué idioma necesito hablar? Tenemos opciones. Por la primera en español. Gracias, UAM. Es una meta personal que realiza en este momento. Entonces, muchísimas gracias por su confianza, su colaboración. Y también a my Social Business Creation, thank you so much. I'm honored truly to be here right now. What a privilege. Y divertimos. Voy a hablar en inglés, a veces español. Yo puedo hacer las traducciones. Y voy a empezar con mi propia introducción. No tenemos AI hoy por eso. So Natalie, we are honored to be here. I'm a social business entrepreneur. Yesterday, Ghani was so kind to share that my business is a B Corp certified business operating in Canada, US, and Mexico. And so we are a collective of digital marketing experts that are at the service to small businesses and entrepreneurs specifically. Our mission is to expand the economy and fill it, dilute it with small business conscious local offerings, take that 99%, give some of it back to the small businesses, which in Mexico, we learned also yesterday that it represents such a huge portion of your economy and an enormous part of your labor. And so viva las pequeños empresas, microempresas y emprendedores. And yeah, entrepreneurship. So social business and entrepreneurship, it's 20 years that I'm an entrepreneur, 10 years that I'm incorporated with Cometa Communications, and Meta significa la benevolencia, benevolence. So doing good and bringing impact through communications. And it's a pleasure for me to be here with you today to share some of the learnings and welcome you to the future. And so 20 years at this, I've taken a stab at organizing what's going on with digital marketing and digital communications. And so you'll see here, branding, analytics, social media, SEO. These are things that you all know are involved in digital marketing communications. However, we're taking a business perspective today. And so why we do them is really important. And we start every conversation with clients and community like that at Cometa, so that you understand not only, okay, this is fun, we have all these options, but what is the value of doing them? Why is it important that businesses do them? What is the impact that we can have with them? So when we're talking about branding, and when I speak about branding, I'm talking about todo el contenido posible, like photos, videos, copy, the graphic design, everything involved in communicating your brand image. And then the data available online, because most of all of these tools have their own analytics, most also freely available to small business entrepreneurs. This makes your strategic management in your business. So we want to be using data, ideally, to design the content that then we use to position the brand and the company online. So this is really the reason we do this is that we're managing your strategy, and it's important to have it, because otherwise we're just shooting in the dark. We then take these strategies and we bring them into these very popular tools that are running our society right now. But really, and you think they're your friends, but they're not if you don't have their contact information. And so it's very important, but this is managing your reputation. These are not the place for your community. It's not the place for your relationships. Like I said, those are Meta's friends unless you have their contact information. And so, muy importante, enorme, poderoso, pero we don't own them, we don't control them, we don't decide what happens. Today, this is how the world is working, but it might not be that tomorrow. And we're going to see what AI is shifting already with this. Government decisions are shifting decisions in what's happening here. So, muy importante, pero it's not the end of the story. Our goal is to take the strategies, put the minimum into these tools so that they work for you as a social business or entrepreneur, and that we focus on converting people from these tools and bringing them home to the tools that you own, which have value for you. And that is your website and your contact list that you can use with email marketing. And this is where the word relationships comes in. And that is the key word. I didn't make up that word, although I love it. In my dreams, marketing will be a discussion on how to manage corporate relationships in the future. Well, hopefully we can come back and stay connected, and we'll do another talk in another few years when everybody's ready for that. But right now, I took the word from CRM, Customer Relationship Management Tools, which are used when sales happen. So if there was another block here, it would be your sales. And the CRM tools, Salesforce, HubSpot, and muchas, that's where you manage your sales relationships. So they're giving you the answer. The relationships are what's important. And so this is the method that we teach, that we serve, that we use to bring the focus to businesses to understand why we want to involve and invest and take time to use these tools. Any questions? I'd love this to be interactive, so cuando quieras. All right. So let's talk about how this creates impact. Because we're at the service of businesses, I could not spend my life behind these companies and these tools if it didn't have value for the small businesses and the entrepreneur. And there's 3 ways that we, through this, can contribute to a positive return on investment. And so the 3 measurements are: your brand has value. The value, though, is not how many friends you have on Instagram or TikTok. It's measured only by the tool that you own, which is your website, and the visibility that you get there through the unique website users. So we know the value of a brand based on how many website users there are, which is why when María showed me her platform and social business creation community around the world, my mind exploded because her website has actively 30,000 social business students and community members, professionals, teachers a month. That is an impressive number. And it's also easy to take that number and use it against advertising models to say, how much is that worth? If you wanted 30,000 impressions with a website that is going to show your advertising, or a billboard on the street, or email alert, there would be a price. So it's easy for us to put a value on your brand value, brand visibility. The second is your contact list. Todos sabemos que está muy importante los contactos, and that you can like sell and buy contact lists. This is very important. I'm sure you would love access to that contact list. If you were a social business launching a product, 30,000 people a month, if you had their contacts, so yeah, un valor enorme, ¿no? Entonces, contact lists are mega. That's such, it's literally like money, and very, very important. It takes people their whole career, their whole life to gather their contact list. So it's something that you want to keep up to date, keep clean, and cherish. Finally, the content bank. So this is a really easy example now to explain because we have the blockchain technology, and we've seen NFTs. Is everybody familiar with NFTs? And so basically like data, a file that is worth an enormous amount of money for some people, in some cases, the US launching an entire fund around this and strategy, that is purely content. It's content on the internet. Content is what literally weaves the fabric of the internet. El internet está existando gracias al contenido, su contenido. And if it's not living on the tool that you own, it's making them very powerful and wealthy. And that's why they have your friends, their contact information, they have the data that goes behind that, and they have all your content if you're giving it to them only. So literally, when you're building content, it's banking for your business if it lives on the tools that you own, if it's yours. We know also that content is extremely expensive. No es fácil crear imágenes, videos, está muy caro. And so it's also very easy to understand that there's a value to content today. And when we are creating and all those things that I do with companies, really, even though I might be managing your social media, I'm building you content that is used there, but that ideally will get used on the tools that you own so that it's your content and we can prove it.
¿Preguntas por eso? So we want you to have a return on investment, and this in marketing conversations, if they're not connected to sales, is how we do that. María? All right. We can also have enormous impact through visibility. Visibility raises awareness of subjects. So today we're talking about social impact. The visibility that you gain for a social product or a social cause or social initiative is literally changing people's minds, influencing their lives, raising and creating awareness around these subjects. So that is already extremely impactful. Engagement is what we hope comes from the visibility. People engage, if I talk about from a social media standpoint, they're liking, they're commenting, ideally they're sharing. That's the most powerful form of engagement. Actually, I'd say clicking would be the most powerful form of engagement. People sell ads for click-through rates. They charge you based on how many clicks you get. So these organic tools get you clicks if they're enticing enough. And so engagement is real, but if we talk about engagement in general, engagement is where there's a call to action. So first, we're teaching people with the awareness, then we're asking them to take an action, and that is even more powerful. People's investment of time, energy, that's how you build loyalty with people. The more time they spend with your brand, with your cause, with your company, the more they are building a relationship with you. And finally, conversion, and that's really what we want. The call to action is the engagement, but conversion is talking about changing people's behavior, literally converting them to take an action that you wanted. So there's activity in the engagement that's already very powerful, but converting someone, it says it in the words, la conversión, en español también, la misma palabra, para convertir una persona, una mentalidad, it's change building. When you convert anything, you're changing it. And so these are enormous impact measurements. And there's many, many, many levels of this. The awareness in social media, there's how much did you reach of your own followers? How many did you reach in new followers? How much visibility did you get on the whole platform? So these 3 points summarize these impact measurements, but they all they all have deep levels we can go into. But today we're just summarizing the impact potential from this. Preguntas por eso? Comentarios? No? Comentos? So these are the 2 ways that we're talking about impact with these digital tools. Keep that in mind as we get into the new wave of tools. So what I really want you to remember is that in all this, we know now that the relationship is the key word. In marketing, I say that it's my job to attract, build, and maintain long-term relationships for my clients. Humans are the one paying the bills. AI can coordinate anything for you right now. It might pass your credit card, but it is not coming up with las dineros. Están las manos que tienen las dineros. Hoy, ayer, y en el futuro. Okay? So despite all this technology, despite all these waves of evolution, I'm going to bring back the method. All of this, 20 years I'm doing this now. The internet still works kind of the same. There's been revolutions in it, like apps. Apps was major. That changed a lot. It's a whole other network. It's not on the internet. It's on mobile networks. SEO, search engine optimization, when they changed towards rewarding authenticity, valuing relationships and true links, that was a big change. But otherwise, it kind of works the same. Now what we are seeing today is another enormous change with the introduction of specifically generative AI. AI has been around for a very long time, but right now what we're experiencing is the change that has come through these generative AI tools, which we will get into further. So at the end of the day, despite all these technology changes, all the different tools and trends, it's still the power and the value is still in human relationships. They are made by humans for humans. And I don't want you to forget that in all of the noise going on around AI specifically right now. Entonces, what's new? Well, to start, if we take that into context, we now are not only considering search engine optimization, SEO, we have something called AEO. That's a big deal. So essentially, what I want you to take away here or know is that the model of these AI engines, A means answer engine optimization. I'll explain. But they are following the same model as search. They're not social media. They are search engines. But they are giving you the answer in the A, which is answer, because people are searching by having conversations. It's very different than Googling something. Answer engine optimization is now a major consideration of mine for small businesses and entrepreneurs to take more room in these new channels that people are searching very often and regularly. And so what I enjoy about this is that we don't just have one or two search engines. I used to be able to say in a conference that 95% of people use Google. Not anymore. So very interesting. What's happening right now is that these AI engines, answer engines, are totally shifting the search market to now having many tools, not just one. There was the first one, and what was the first one? What's the first one that you tried in terms of an AI tool? Which one? ExploreNet, you're talking about? Yeah, that's a search engine. But have you used AI? Has everyone using AI, Gen AI? Todos? ChatGPT, first one that got everyone. But now, is that the only one you're using? Is everyone loyal to ChatGPT? Is everybody using ChatGPT? No. There's lots of choices already. So this is very exciting if you're me, because you're seeing the market expand. And the power that was happening in search is now being diluted also in a very interesting way. Very interesting timing also with what's happening politically. So answer engine optimization is a real thing. And this is something important to consider as a business or an entrepreneur for your impact, because you want to be found in these new tools that are being so highly solicited. And the way to be found there is very different than search engines. I'll save you the class on SEO. We're going to focus on this. The answer is the form. They are prioritizing content that is in a conversational tone. Now, the content we've been creating online has not been that way. No es eso que estamos como acostumbrados. Todos los sitios web no tienen blogs o páginas con respuestas o como like una tonalidad, tono de como casual, conversación, preguntas, respuestas, like fresh. Yeah. Frescura. ¿Todo bien? So, what's really key is that now, as a business, you have to start creating content with this format. These 2 points are giving you the guides. People are using them in question answers. So you need to start creating content in that style of dialogue to be found. And people love lists. They love graphs. And it's voices asking questions. So here are the ingredients as to how content creation, copy-wise, is about to change. Image-wise, we talked about yesterday, I think it was Ghani saying, graphs. People love graphs, but what are they really saying? Well, they really still love them. They're not obsolete yet. The graphs are being highly valued in answer engines. Any questions or comments or experiences that you want to share about this? Snippets. Snippets is like a short clip of a long paragraph. So they take out, if you use them, you'll see like it's a very small summary, which is interesting because in search engine optimization, when you search Google, you have a link and a very short description. That's called a meta title and a meta description. And one of the SEO strategies is to write that yourself. If you don't, Google will take it automatically from your website. But if you write it yourself, you get extra points. That snippet mindset, that like very short summary or short piece that's taken out of a larger context, is what's happening in the answer engines that you're using. Notice the form of what they're showing you, the actual structure of it. And it's often small summaries or little quotes that they take out. So you want to write your content in a way that there's easy to grab points or summaries or statements that that like well, English, French, that summarize certain points of your content. So this is a huge change that we need to consider to have impact and maintain our visibility, maintain our awareness that we're creating, maintain our engagement and our conversion. ¿Otra preguntas?
That's more in social media, for example. No. Yes, but in Instagram, more or less, and Facebook, less.
Well, actually, all social media right now is being used like search engines. The new generation, which is not so new anymore, but everyone's adopted that behavior. They go to Instagram to search something before Google or TikTok. You go there and you search. So it's also being used as search engines, but they do not behave as search engines. The way that they prioritize content is not the same way that search engines work. So they are still a strategy as part of search engine optimization. One of my exercises when I was teaching SEO at the very beginning of this was to Google yourself. Have you done that? Has anyone Googled yourself lately? Yeah. So the first things that come up are your social media. For anything, you Google a company, you Google, even if when they show you the Google Maps, right under, they give you the social media of a brand. That's because those are the most popular websites with the most traffic, with the most updates, all the considerations that SEO likes to favor. So having social media channels is a search engine strategy. They will be the first things that come up when someone's Googling you or searching you in search engines. Diferente, and we'll see that a little later on for answer engines. So yes, it's not, doesn't behave like the way that content on social media is prioritized is not the same as search content rankings. However, they are part of the strategy and the behavior is very much people searching on social. Otra preguntas? Anybody online? You still with us? All right. So these are my quotes, by the way, like I'm quoting myself. So this is the fact that I love to share when you think about all those tools. Not everyone's on TikTok. Not everyone's on Meta anymore. Not everyone's on Instagram. But 100% of your audience, whether they're your employees, your partners, suppliers, your clients, are searching. And before, I used to say, that's why search engine optimization is relevant for anybody, any strategy. Now, we don't have one engine for this. So this is major. Because 100% of your audiences are searching, but now it's not just in one place. So what else is new? AI tools today taking over are introducing a new pillar, and it's resource management. And when you're a business, the most important resources are time and money, probably in that order. And so generative AI is the new wave of AI. As I mentioned, AI has existed for a long time. We're all using it. I mean, como Alexa, ponen canción, no sé qué quieren, pero, you know, it's already part of our lives. We didn't even notice it. That's one example, but there's many. There's many, many tools that you're already using that have AI already integrated. What is changing right now, the big explosion, is generative AI, because it is generating content based on your inputs, generating answers based on your questions. And generative AI is now able to save you time by helping you research and brainstorm, by writing copy for you, translating copy for you, creating designs for you, creating images, videos, music, managing your social media, all of the above. I love the part about the analytics. That's what not everyone's doing so commonly, but analyzing data is one of the major wins about generative AI being introduced. And this, being able to read and summarize what's happening in your engagement and sentiment analytics. So, muy importante, time is money, time is precioso. And so this is, I mean, I'll use my own example. In my company, we're doing all of this. Is it saving us time? Yes, it's not saving me time and costs yet, but what I'm seeing is that we're able to take our clients with the same amount of time further. We're able to say, oh, those tasks that were like took up most of the hours of the budget that we had, now they're quick. So we can spend that budget on actually getting to the impact part, the relationship building part, the marketing, true marketing opportunities that normally you're using those tasks to get ready for. So not really saving us money, but we are saving time, and with the same amount of time, we're able to get further, faster. Anybody else saving time with AI? Any examples of how you're using it to save time? How? Sorry? Oh, yeah. For advice. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sí, entiendo, and it's very popular. That's actually, if you're not using it, that's the way that people recommend you start. Have a conversation. Not try to save time, not get it to do a task. Talk to it. Have a conversation about anything you're interested in, see where it goes. You're one of many people who have shared that it's a space that becomes safer to kind of test out your ideas or share things you might be concerned about, questions you have, without having to get in the car, go to the therapist session, or call that person, get into the description, get right to the point, you know? So that's a very interesting way that you're using it. Anybody else saving time with Gen AI? Yeah.
The issue is generating the prompt.
Yes, exactly. It's all about the prompt. Very different than how you would Google something. It's conversational. So that's the key, is learning how to prompt. There's prompt engineering. That's a thing. You could be a prompt engineer as a career. It's massive. So that is the key. That's the difference in how to engage, for sure. Another aspect of what's different. Anybody else using Gen AI? Any examples? Yeah.
I tried deep learning, deep researcher tool to prepare my presentation. I asked them to make me a 20-page report on social enterprise for sustainability.
And did it pass?
I think it's a master level.
Master's level.
Not PhD yet.
Wow, but already at master's level.
Well,
and that saved you time, I imagine. Yeah. That's a large amount of time. Yeah, the research aspects to this are huge. I mean, all of it's really big, but again, we're businesses, we're entrepreneurs, we're thinking about, that's fun. We can have fun with all this, but what is valuable for us as a business? That's a really good example. All right, dineros. Are you familiar with agentic AI? Has anyone heard of agentic AI? Not generative AI, agentic AI. Not yet? Bienvenidos. So the generative AI is building up to what they're calling agentic AI. Agentic like an agency. Like literally, I have a digital marketing agency for a model of business. You can get an AI to do what we do for people. Come up with 5 ideas of content that I can publish over the next 3 months. A/B test it on this thing. Analyze the results, pick the best one, make an ad, use my credit card, give it the budget. 10 minutes, max. So the word agentic comes from agency. It's agencies of services that are being replaced. And this is where you will save straight money by literally replacing jobs that you're currently seeing with agentic AI. And the 3 main ways that it's showing up right now is by creating custom chatbots. Has anyone built a chatbot for themselves with ChatGPT? No? Very easy to do. So many companies are trying this. That's valuable for businesses right now. Creating customer service agents with your own data, creating your own chatbot to even help yourself understand your own workload. So chatbots is the easy way in. You can try that. There's models where you can take the exact ChatGPT structure and create your own. So I would suggest trying that. But think of companies, think of how having your own chatbot will work. Any retailer, you're probably already interacting with chatbots from brands when you're shopping, online shopping. Some people are having good experiences. My father likes to start conversations with them and see how far they go. So chatbots, yeah.
So every time I write a document, I create a chatbot to be an expert in the field by giving the system a few dozen papers.
And then you use it.
Yes, I can chat chatbot. He has to read everything.
Exactly. It's like creating your own experts in your specific niche, like literally creating your own teammates, your own assistants. And now we're in that world. Already we're all leaders. We all have followers. That's new. I mean, it's not that new anymore, but it's new that everyone in the world, whether you know it or not, if you're on social media, you have followers. You're in a leadership position. Now with this, everyone can have an assistant and will and should. So in all of your work, whether it's personal, for your family coordination, home, and especially in your business, everyone on your team can have an assistant now through agentic AI. Operators are literally doing tasks for you. So the second option here is to create or use these services to do tasks, like I used in the first example. Run my marketing department. And finally, what's very powerful here is research assistants, as we can see doctors already using very well and exemplary. So this is replacing jobs, and it's not a bad thing. Any other questions about this or comments?
Do you have a digital marketing assistant?
Right now, I'm going to jump in exactly, thank you for that, to our example. I'll give you what we're doing. We haven't yet created our own chatbot, very big on human relationships, aren't selling online. So the value of the time of that has not shown up in terms of application. I know some other peers of mine are building chatbots to help their clients, but more as like a teammate, so that when they're brainstorming on different strategies, there's a new teammate at the table. And we do that every time we're strategizing. We integrate these tools, and we're using the results to then elaborate our own strategies and refine them. Yes.
Natalie, en Cometa utilizan un chatbot especial para solamente preguntas o respuestas dentro de la organización.
No, en este momento nuestra propio, pero estamos usando los herramientas y eso es que vas a usar. So I'll speak for myself here. Using the example, I have a team of 10 core teammates between Mexico, US, and Canada. We're all virtual. We always were, even pre-pandemic. And so I'm
Hello, ya te podemos ver. Yeah, it's good. We can hear you. Natalie? Hello? We can hear you. We can see the presentation, but we can hear you.
That would help.
No, yes, it's
¿Suena
okay.
bien?
Thank you. Sí, gracias.
All the technology in the world, sometimes it's so simple. All right, so when you join Team Cometa, these are the 4 tools that we teach you though. These are our core tech stack. Google Workplace. From the very beginning of Google, I was already using Gmail to help entrepreneurs use their own domain name and for their personal email. When Google realized people were doing that and created this product, I was a reseller at the very beginning. And then it became a huge product offering, and I couldn't keep up with the quotas and the exclusivity they wanted. But I've watched Google evolve, and you'll hear me talk about it a lot. Right now, I'm extremely disappointed in Google. So also exploring alternatives and watching the changes very closely. But Google, when they started, first of all, they still do a lot for education. They give all their tools free for education, nonprofits. There's a lot of AI that they're offering also for social impact. And when they, at the beginning, when they would get pressure from governments to influence the results, they would show and publish the letters. So they were exposing the model. So those are the reasons I've always been on Google, like more comfortable with Google out of all the alternatives. So Google Workspace, are all of you using Google for email? Calendars, Drive, everything in one. Now they've integrated Gemini is their chat. So I go on any of those tools that I'm already using, and now I have an assistant waiting to work with me and sharing the disclaimer. I don't know if you can read that, but it says, Gemini for Workspace can make mistakes, including about people, so double check it. Which I appreciate that they're also putting that front and center. So Google Workspace is what we've always used, but now has become a very powerful AI tool. And in their marketplace, it's like the apps of a phone. They have all the AI tools integrating with their analytics, very impressive. They also give free courses and resources, which I'll mention again at the end. So that's our core space for all the tools we need to work virtually. Then our project management system is Airtable, which is a very highly customizable and integratable tool, which is also lower cost, so better option for small businesses and entrepreneurs. That's where we do all our operations management, project management. We even built it as our CRM. So this is how we are running our CRM as well. Slack is how we collaborate. It's like where we get to actually work together and have channels for each client and conversation and topics. And that's where our collaboration happens. And finally, our accounting and our invoicing is run through QuickBooks Online and Square. So this was our core tech stack, but now every single one of these has AI integrated. And so our business is already transitioning just by changing nothing. Our new tools that we started using, these are the ones that we're using majoritively. I had all my team send in what they're using so that we could make this presentation collectively. And these are the top 10 for us at Cometa right now. And so we're using to brainstorm and research and strategize for clients. We're using copy ones to write copy, translate copy, edit copy. We're using the research ones also to deepen our strategies and our understanding, data and analysis of market opportunities and landscapes. And of course, the ones for content generation, mostly the Midjourney and Photoshop AI for the designs that we build. Canva is more for the community work that we do. We have volunteers, and that one's more accessible, and we help clients use Canva themselves because they can, with their own teams, be more independent using it. So any new ones here on the list for you? Yeah? What's new for you?
I know Photoshop, but I don't know Photoshop AI.
So Canva and Photoshop already existed. Same with Grammarly, they just brought in AI tools. Midjourney is the one to make videos. Video, yeah. Perplexity, thank you. This one's my favorite so far because it's being the most professional, the most transparent out of my short experience with these. And there are new ones every day. Ghani told us about Monica, and that one takes all of these and puts it in one, which I can't wait to try. Yes, and Grok, yes, of course, just came out. Elon Musk, I'm not so sure I want to go there, but that's also a new one that you're using, yeah, that you didn't see here. Notebook LM, that is through Google, and it's a research-based one. Really, really powerful. Really, if you haven't used it, you will with your work in school and in general. Research heavy. For educators, it's brilliant. That's a very, very big one for educators, Notebook LM. And Perplexity, just to finish, they're the ones that are giving sources, references to what they show you. So they're the ones behaving the most like a search engine to say, hey, be careful about this. They also include like disclaimers, and they give you all the links and the resources so you can validate the content. So that's why that's my personal favorite at the moment, the one I use the most. Perplexity. Free also. So if you haven't used it, please. Any online questions or comments? Anybody else? Other ones that you're using or that you would recommend or that you have questions about? Todo bien? All right. So to share a case study. Now, in those disclaimers, and you know, I'm really focusing on the impact we can have and the social sides of this. And my whole brand is about shining online. So I want to share with you what's positive to change the dialogue a little bit from everything that goes on. That's what we're doing, trying to take more room with these authentic, uplifting stories in our entire business model. However, by no means should AI be running the show. As I said, it's designed by humans for humans. The human relationship and the human creativity is something that will never be replaced. People are introducing, one of my mentors talks about how when the combustion engine was introduced, everyone was riding horses before, and then now we're all driving cars, and that was a great change. It's not that horses are gone, but now if you're an equestrian, it's valued, it's a privilege, it's like extremely rich and valued. So similar, you know, we use vacuum cleaners. Pretty happy to have my vacuum cleaner. You can have it now go automatically. Why wouldn't I use it? I get to do a lot more with my time that it saves me. So integrating these tools is great. However, we cannot rely on them. And in this example with our clients, Learn is they provide all the pedagogical resources, content, free online tutoring to the English public school boards of Quebec, where English is a minority. So very important nonprofit. They work with students. It's very hard to find content with kids. It's very hard to get permission to take your own content with kids. And so we're relying on stock images. Stock images don't always show diversity in the most realistic ways. So we found with this client, we've been fortunately a very long time with them, we run out of the content that really represents their audience. And so we used AI to create images that maybe you'll see or notice certain things aren't necessarily 100% authentic or real, but for a social media post, this goes by and we're introducing diversity, visible diversity into their brand to make sure that it's represented with otherwise tools that we don't have access to. So again, not really saving us time because to do that, it took us 4 different tools to make one image like look realistic enough right now. And
Natalie, we can hear you.
now I know the mute button goes off.
Yeah.
And welcome back, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know when I lost you.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Todo bien? Okay. So this is a very, very powerful example that I like to use to say, hey, we're using it, but it's not because it saves us time or money that it's so powerful. Right now, we're using this for a social case where otherwise they were not able to honor the true diversity that they want to represent, that they are serving in their branding. Any examples that you have or would like to share on like of people using AI to solve a problem in your communities? No? Well, now you can use mine. Sorry? Oh, yeah. 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 You're already seeing your community benefit from that. Great. Okay. So ultimately, what I'd like you to know is that change is good. And this is a big change happening right now, but I also believe that it's good for the new opportunities that it's showing clients, for the problems that we can solve with it, and for the impact it's allowing us. This is a report from the World Economic Forum stating that, yes, 92 million current jobs will be displaced, but 170 million new ones are being created. And that's part of the conversation that not everyone's hearing. What you say is that AI won't replace the human job, but someone using AI will. So we're not taking the humans out of the equation here. We're still at the heart of all of it. We're still the ones, con los dineros, we're still the ones that have the creativity that this can help expand. We're still the ones that have relationships. And that is where the value is. So it might be a little small, but there's a list here of how what jobs will be replaced. It has the substitution potential in the human-centric tasks. So the more you're relying on human tasks, the less you'll be replaced. And at the very top of the AI cannot currently replace list is teaching and mentoring. So just want to share that with you for your own confianza y prosperidad. It's a very powerful role to be in. We will always need humans to teach this stuff, interpret it, and facilitate it. However, for me, marketing media creation is third on the list of what will be replaced. And again, I haven't experienced that yet. We are very big on education at Cometa, so we do help people learn how to be independent. We want the most small businesses and entrepreneurs to have access to these and this knowledge. However, for example, I had a teammate go on maternity leave, and she used to do all my social media writing. And while she was gone, we have our other teammate who does the social media community management replace it with AI and herself. And it's good enough for social media writing that now that she's come back, we're keeping her in a strategic role. We are keeping her in, she's a journalist, for interviewing to get the content out of the humans, for press releases, for long format writing that needs to be at a higher level and, let's say, educational type content, master's level content. So we've not replaced her, but we've evolved her role and did not need her in the same way anymore because the AI tools are doing the job enough. So that's a real life example I can share with you. Okay. Hasta 12, right? We got till 12. So there's lots of examples of how AI is being used for good in environmental aspects and social service aspects and many aspects, many industries. And this is just one that I liked because first of all, it's on a regular old school news website. These scientists referred to in this article have been working for years and years to solve this problem of this superbug. And they gave the problem to AI. And the AI came up with the solution that they took years to come up with and that they were testing immediately. And the researcher was so shocked that they were like, it had to have my content. So contacted Google and the owners of the different tools they were using and said, you must have seen our research. And they were like, no, and we can validate it. Like, we did not have that data as part of the set that we were exploring here and considering. And so he evaluated again and confirmed that no, the AI did not have access to that. So it was an idea or a connection. It's not having ideas, it's not human, but it's a connection that it made on its own. And it also came up with something that they'd never considered that now they are researching to be able to prove thanks to this exercise. So science is a very big realm where we can benefit from AI, and we're already seeing the impact of that. Does anyone have any stories of how they've seen AI for good replace services that maybe people don't have access to? I mean, now I'm going to use UAM como un ejemplo con su programa, como están ayudando todas las microempresas y emprendedores con su distribución y visibilidad. No por la productividad, porque ya tiene en México. No puede trabajar más, pero por la distribución y la visibilidad. Universidad ya está apoyando 3,000 microempresas, emprendedores y 2,000 más con la funding, con los programas que están en operación. Seguramente voy a hablar de vos. Estoy muy orgulloso de vos. Agradezco mucho ese trabajo. Está como algún que también mi vida va para apoyar sociedad, como comunidad de emprendedores y microempresas. Mucho respeto. So I will use this example of your AI program and how you are helping thousands of small businesses and entrepreneurs grow their distribution and their visibility thanks to AI tools. That's an incredible AI for good example that I've come across that I will continue to promote you for with great pleasure. Any other examples or questions? Yeah.
But I don't know if it is for good.
Okay.
Communication between AIs.
Yeah.
Agentic AI.
Yeah.
And they changed the to a different language. And humans can understand what are they.
Oh, how they're relating?
They are in a high level.
That
they are transmuting data.
That we're not able to process or we don't understand yet. Yeah. I mean, in a way that's good because it's challenging us to evolve and essentially that's where I'm headed with this is that, sorry. I'll start with this. Right now, the key word isn't artificial. It's not autopilot either. Do not use this stuff blindly. But I like to bring in the word amplify, that these tools are here to amplify our intelligence, amplify our creativity. Literally, let us focus on what is unique to the human so that our evolution, intelligence can expand thanks to what this is supporting us towards, what this challenges us with, what this inspires in us. And so really the opportunity here is that this amplifies our human intelligence and our human creativity. And we're already seeing it. So thank you for that example, because you just. So the other subject that I really want to make sure that you understand is that AI has open source offerings. Everybody familiar with open source as a concept? See, no? Some, yeah. So the internet was not designed for marketing or advertising. That's the first time in human history that we have a communication tool where we can go both ways that was not intended for promotion, propaganda, private interests, which is why I've spent my life in it. We know history repeats, but now we have an ingredient that we've never seen before. Very sad after 20 years to see where it went with the recent elections, but it's still not dead in terms of the open source community that requires it to be accessible, transparent, and impactful and to the masses. So open source internet is something I take inspiration from all the time and what I try to promote in all the tools and all the sectors that I work in. And AI is now also embracing that. Many of the most popular AI tools are open source, and it is allowing transparency and trust, cost effectiveness, accessibility, and all these benefits because of that. I'll use the opposite example. Did anybody have a VR headset? Has anyone tried VR, AR? Did you do it more than once? Like, are you seeing that everywhere? Because that was supposed to be this big change. We're going to learn through VR. We're going to heal and you know, there's like therapies and like health applications. There's incredible potential with VR and AR, but those companies kept it private. They did not have a search engine that had all the apps available where everybody, no importa su como máquina, like no importa la tecnología, the headset, you can still benefit from all these. It was like, no, if you have Apple's, you got Apple apps and you got Apple's headset, yeah. And then you need the other headset for these ones. It did not tip. It did not become mainstream. It has not yet. Because of that, I'm convinced. Whereas AI has embraced open source, and that's why I believe it's as enormous as the introduction of the internet. It can have the impact. It can make and support positive change, and tipping from everything being in 1% of power to expanding, changing, thanks to its accessibility, thanks to this. So also want you to know that about this change and why it's happening so mainstream. It's because it's being made accessible. And everyone just saw what happened probably with DeepSeek. Epic. Like, oh, hey, America, you think you got this? Like, boom, we're going to show you how to do it less environmentally, like harmfully and completely open, you know? That's why it's so powerful. That's why these changes are happening, because they're accessible. They're open source. So very happy that AI has embraced and is encouraging that with this change. So we have a little bit of time. This is my exercise. Like I said, when I started teaching search engine optimizations, I wanted people to Google themselves. This is the way to start if you haven't already, but even if you have, take the time, if you have an AI app right now, Google, search yourself in an answer engine. See what comes up. What's interesting here is that when you Google yourself, you usually have all your social media first. In mine, the LinkedIn is there, Facebook is there, and X later, but I can also see the logo of my website. And the first thing is an article on me from a partner of mine, Web Hosting Canada. That article is old, it's not new, but that article is written in the way that answer engines like. So that the first icon is an article that's not new at all. I've had many articles, I've written many articles, there's lots of content about me, if I'm doing my job right. That article is not at all the most relevant, the most interesting, the most up-to-date, but it is the most compliant with the format of the content that answer engines like. It's written in the style that answer engines promote. The other thing that's interesting here is, first of all, it's not all me. That is not my AI avatar. So it's not all correct. And of course, there's not only one me, so it's also interesting to see. And the videos that it's promoting of me, one is a very old picture from my website. One is a video on YouTube. One is a profile picture in my social media through the community involvement events that I do. And one is an interview that I made with my client. They do a LinkedIn Live on tech changes where they answer questions for their community. And that is also probably on YouTube, coming from YouTube. So when you search yourself, which I hope you take the time to do, look at what it's showing you and connect to where do they get that? Because that will help you understand how they're working. And it's not the same as search engines. Very different content. Did anybody find anything? Did it come up? Amazing. And when you Google yourself, is it the same results? That would be an interesting comparison. Anybody else? Did you get anything interesting? Anything surprising? Even if today I just got you to download it and try, I'm already very happy. Yes. No. So that's also to show you, not all content is correct. You cannot rely on the result. That's not me. Like I said, there are many people, and this is another example in my business. I've had 2 different clients right now get their headshot made with AI. Instead of paying a photographer $400 for a headshot session, this is my board member. Not because she didn't have the money, because she didn't have the time, she couldn't be bothered. She's trying to make an offering that, you know, it's not going to be a huge brand. She's working for her own personal identity. My other client who has that tech show, he's a very popular entrepreneur. He could totally take photos, but the time is not something he has available. 2 different clients of mine or community members that just paid under $100 to an AI tool, put it in their photos, and are using today the headshots that they came up with because they're believable enough. And I say enough because you kind of can tell that they're AI, but a headshot is already kind of weird. You know, headshots are already kind of like awkward or poco raro, como like no tu estilo muy natural. Entonces, like it works, it's good enough. And so that is not my AI avatar, but I wanted to show you that you cannot trust everything that comes. It won't all be correct. And so with this exercise, I hope you take away that, whoa, not only am I learning where it got this content, because you could recognize it, and it won't be the same as what Google is showing you, and that, hey, don't believe everything. Absolutely do not trust this blindly.
So
yes.
having this is a great tool. But what happened with ethics? Because you can install it
Yes.
and make a false profile and make many things.
Yep.
So
Thank you so much for bringing that up. So first of all, this screenshot is Perplexity, which is why it's showing me the sources. And if I had more room on the screen, it would also like probably give me the links to those sources and even often give a disclaimer. So I appreciate that about this tool because it'll say this might not all be accurate. Now, we talked about at the very beginning, one of the metrics of value is your content bank. But now we're building off other people's content. Gratefully, it's running off these databases and everything in the public domain. So it's considering everything on the internet. It's nice to have all that data, but the ownership conversation is a very big one. For me, I'm going to reinforce what I said then was that your content is yours when it's on your platforms. And you customizing the content is what is being argued right now in a lot of arts applications of this, that if you were inspired by this and then you adapted it, is it now yours? The answer is not clear yet. This is a conversation that's very actively happening right now. So what I like to share with this is that how many people are exposed to fake news? How do you know it's fake news? There's no ticket that says this is fake news. You feel it. We just know. We now have learned that just based on feeling. There's nothing to say this is fake news. It's purely a feeling. How do I know that that headshot that my client's using was made with AI? I can feel it. You can feel the AI content right now. You can tell. Incredibly beautiful stuff. And I'm not saying that not to use it, but the human relationship and the human element in this, the conversion that we want, the actions that we want, the engagement that we want the human to take, if your brand fits that, great. A headshot already looks kind of awkward, so it works, no problem. But that's the competition. All this fake stuff, all this fear stuff, shine online. We get behind the positive stories to take room because it works. That stands out from the fake news and the everything looking the same. Same exact thing I'm seeing with AI right now is that, sorry. Yeah, I'm on it. Can they see? Oops, I lost it again.
Yeah, now we can see.
Yeah, and you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I just want to get back. So same thing with AI. Right now, there's no watermark. A client and a mentor also did a big case for that. He works with Stanford. He's educating on this topic. He made a case that how you could have a stamp on AI content, that there should be an indicator to say, this is AI. There probably ought to be one for fake news too. It's not going to happen. Neither one is happening anytime soon, but you feel it. And so it's okay because it's pretty cool. The commercials from all the major brands that have done AI, they're impressive. It's entertaining, but is it authentic? Is it connecting with you on that level for the relationship you want to build? Maybe. If it's on brand, great. So I'm not saying that it's not relevant and it won't work. And what it's allowing, and speaking of saving time and money, is people that wouldn't have the resources to make content banks for themselves can now have access to more of that. So that's positive. However, you still feel it. So it really comes down to what your goal is, what message you're trying to get across, what impact you're trying to have with the content. Yes, Maya, sorry.
Very interesting when you presented about finding information. But now, is there a way we can prevent AI from hallucinating about us? So now, how can we push the information on the web so that when people search about us, they get the right information and not hallucinating? So for example, my students search about me and they show me I want to ask what is the most significant research of Professor Minh, and it comes up with, it looks very convincing about the article, the name of the article, the journal, the issue, but it doesn't exist. And it's like the most influential research of Professor Minh. Well, actually, it's about the topic that I work on.
Okay.
And lots of application about that topic.
Okay.
But not that specific
Summary or version of it.
the article. She asked for, the most influential article published by Professor.
And it could have been you, but the article that's showing is not yours.
I never did.
Okay, well, I love this question because it's not an easy answer. I tell everyone, and same thing with AI tools. It's like, I'm here talking to you about business applications of this. What you want to do with your personal social media, personal time, personal AI tools, have fun. However, if you want it to truly be personal, don't use your name, because your name is a professional tool, and anything that shows up with your name will be considered from a professional lens. So if you don't want to be found for your name, don't use your name. Use a fake name. That's one way to not be searchable or participate in the public domain content being scanned and found. The other thing is, and that part of reputation management is what happens in crisis. What happens when it's not true? You cannot delete easily things happening online. The only way is to drown it out. That's all we got. And that's why you, as the authentic resource of that, ought to be producing your own content on the topics, contributing your own profiles if that's what comes up first. So if it was a search engine, I would say, let's get your social media for you, sharing what you want to be known for. Let's make your website with the articles that what you want to be found for, that drowns it out. You could even write a statement about something being false and make a case study out of it. And that would be very popular, to refer to it and use the experience that way. So the only way to compete with something is to compete with it. To drown it out, you got to compete. And these tools show the most relevant stuff. Search engines. This exercise showed me this is not showing the most relevant, up-to-date thing. Search engines show you what's the latest. Because if you went to Google and you searched something that was outdated, you wouldn't go back. That's a takeaway that we can have from this. Thank you for that example. Anybody else get any interesting results with this? Google?
My whole name was by news. Was published in another instance.
Yeah.
And they got my name, then I come up with the first line of search engine.
So in search engines, there's 6 things. Like answer engines that we're looking at today. I gave you they want answer style, they want snippets, they want graphics, they want summaries. That's what I know so far. There's not a complete list. Search engines, there's 6. Mobile friendly, updated, links are huge. Metadata, like I told you, that you can customize, the traffic that's considered. And I'm not giving the SEO class right now, but and the keywords, the readability and the words, the ranking of the words. So if you think of that news article, they probably have more traffic than your website, if you have one. They have more updates. They have more links coming in and out of the website. That's why it's showing first. That's why social media shows up first. They have all the links, all the activity, all that fresh updates. And so when you want to compete in search engines, that's what we do. You have to water the garden, use the words you want to be found for, make sure you're mobile friendly and you've filled in your data, and have content strategy that helps you keep it going. When you don't, and that's why I was saying one of the ways to combat that is to write a case about it, link to it. Like that will get you found with that, and you'll make a statement about it. And people like that content, if it's newer, will get promoted easier. That's in search engines. Here, like I said, it's a different game. So the best we have is to take this time right now to go, hey, I'm starting to understand where it got that, why, how, if you can start to observe how this is working, what it promotes, what we can do is start to create content to have impact as a business and take space in these new channels for visibility, these new channels to make connection, to get conversion. They don't all have links, kind of like Instagram. Instagram's horrible for the conversion part that I was talking about, because there's no links. You have your link tree and link in bio, and that's why everybody's doing that. Stories have links. It's a good opportunity. They do it on purpose. They want you to use the other tools. I am highlighting Perplexity because I'm trying to promote that one as the best one I've seen so far, because it gives you the resources, it gives you the links, it shows you where it got the information. The other ones aren't. So the best thing you have here is to go, oh, now that it's showing me where it got it, the other ones are doing it the same, but they're not giving you the sources, so that you can create sources that it likes, so that you get shown in all the new ones. Good? All right. So highly recommend that you just play with it. Take this new learner's mindset. There's no wrong way. Downloading the free apps, there's many on the list. Just try it. If you're already trying it, try it differently. Come up with a subject that you like. Have a personal conversation with it. Learn how to ask it questions. Learn how it works so that it can work for you. And that's the goal, is that we learn these tools so they work for us. They amplify our intelligence. They were made for us, by us, for us. Don't forget that. And so Google has an enormous amount of free classes, like or very affordable classes. They put out free white papers. They're very big on the education of this. They're a great resource. Local events. Do you have an AI salon in Mexico City? This is like a global community. I know in certain cities in Mexico, I think Monterrey has one, but it's like an event and a community for events per city that you have chapters, and they have local events where they're bringing together the AI community, investors, pitches, all the different people in the ecosystem. So go to events. There's so many. Oh, okay, there you go. There is one in Mexico City. You can go to AI salon events. If it's not an AI salon event, there are events happening. I absolutely guarantee you in your city around AI. Just go. Get to know the people. Learn the language by being there. Get involved. Stay with the change. And finally, community content. Like what the result I had with my client. The bottom right, that's his tech talk show where he interviewed me and he asks questions. It's in the form of a podcast now. You can go and look at that resource. There's lots of people creating content about this, trying to help you understand it and keep up with it. So please immerse yourself in these resources. There's lots of help available. to be the change. And finally, I'm going to quote Maya Angelou, because we know that fake news feels like fake news. That's how we know it's fake. We know that AI content feels like AI content, and that's okay, because it still could be super impressive and very cool and on brand and impactful. But the human who has the money for your business and will, for a long time, be the only one with the money for your business, will remember how you make them feel. They are exploring all of this through their feelings, navigating this, all these changes, all this content, all these tools through their feelings. So use it in a way that has impact for the change you're looking to make, for the brand that you're positioning, and that will give them the experience of how they will feel to work with you. They are in it for their needs first. So first, they want to know my need is being met by working with this. But then they're going to want to know you, and they're going to want to know everything about you. And that's why social media got so popular, because we're like that. We want to see each other's photos and read each other's diaries. You have a brand that you like, or a musician or an artist. You want to feel connected to them. You have a personal relationship with them. That's how we work. So give people the experience throughout all these channels now of what it's like to work with you. Use your content in a way to have impact, to make them feel the way that the relationship will continue to a profundidad, that will deepen with time. I hope you feel inspired, not overwhelmed. I hope you feel encouraged. I hope you feel empowered. Thank you so much for your time and this opportunity. At Cometa, we offer that method, and we're really big about educating. I've done lots of these, but we are opening it to the public with our 10th anniversary. You might have seen the 10, that's this year. If you need any help, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'm everywhere. You can find me on social media. You can add me. I'll give you my email. We're really here to support the Shine Online and the change to bring more to more visibility, more conversion, more value, more prosperity to you. So have fun.
All experts that I like, AA, I'm scared about it.
I mean, that you had a talk yesterday, how education is power. It's through education that we empower. It's really, I don't have a choice but to educate with our services. In order to serve the digital marketing solution, there has to be an education involved. And so I think in a very human way, speaking to their interests, understanding their needs, understanding their goals, and then helping to make it digestible and something that makes sense of it. Exactly. A very human approach. Any other questions? Yes.
Mira, en México el 80% de las empresas son pequeñas y medianas.
Sí.
Sobre todo, tal vez no tanto aquí en la Ciudad de México, pero sí en los estados aledaños, dedican a actividades primarias, ¿no? Económicas primarias. Por ejemplo, estas empresas, ¿cómo pueden integrar nuevos conceptos, nuevas estrategias o inteligencia artificial para que no estén dentro de un sesgo que comprometa también la economía de México?
Yeah.
Entonces, ¿cómo qué estrategias esta industria pueden implementar?
Gracias. La respuesta es aquí. Sí, pasamos por la relationship management. It's like not easy to see because the Zoom, pero los dos herramientas de relationship management, que tiene valor, que está la propiedad de la empresa, es los más importantes. Entonces, correos, somos aquí por correos. Organizamos relaciones, este evento por correos. Yo agradezco cuando hay problemas con las redes sociales y no tenemos acceso para como la gente puede realizar que mi amigo se fue con redes sociales. Correos están las más importantes y sitio web, porque puedes puedes tener visibilidad en search engines. Y ahorita también las nuevas herramientas están buscando la contenido del internet, no solo, sí, también las redes sociales, pero the first and foremost, sitio web y su correo, para empezar. La segunda, ok, puede empezar con redes sociales, pero solo como una etapa más. Y todo lo que estoy escribiendo aquí, estas estrategias de como fundación, los otros que están accesibles por los pequeños negocios y emprendedores, eventos de comunidad y PR, press, como noticias, relaciones públicas. Estos están las opciones orgánicos para mí. Luego es porque estoy apoyándolo y promoviéndolo porque está accesible, no están las más caros. You didn't see me talk about advertising. If you have an advertising budget, that's the last thing, and it will do better because of all this base. Ads that they consider the ranking. So if you're having a good organic rank or a good organic visibility in social media, your ad will perform better. So esta es como el base, pero empieza por que tiene ellos y vas en el otro lado cuando están listas y justamente su programa que están apoyando las empresas micros con las nuevas herramientas, se pone también TikTok, Facebook. Es una etapa, no la primera etapa. Sí. Sí. Gracias. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Natalie. And thank you very much for people on Zoom. So this is the last session of our conference. The publishing with the book, then we will do it again on Monday, next Monday. So we are going to email you with the link and the time. All right?
Oh,
And then
okay,
for people who participate, we will send you a certificate of participation. And along with the videos recording of the sessions. All right? So thank you.
I will send you the name of a teacher.
Yeah, we will communicate by email with that.
Okay, because Marina, she doesn't get the email about the session.
Marina
Elizabeth, she sent the abstract, but she didn't receive any email about the agenda or something like that because she doesn't know about the session yesterday.